Hello YouTube, it's been a long time since I uploaded a video, and I'm sorry for that. Well, this is the first video on a new remastered tutorial series, and without any further hesitation, let's just get into the topic of today's video. This is the introduction to Roblox Studio. The link to download Roblox Studio is in the description, although I'm pretty sure Roblox already comes with Roblox Studio, but as of this video's creation, there is no support for it on mobile or console. Alright, so once you have Roblox Studio installed and opened, you just want to click on the base plate template here. And once you have everything loaded up, you want to set up your tabs. As you see on the side here, we have our Explorer and the Properties tab. So on the top, we have the View tab. And essentially, we have the Explorer, Properties, and all you want to do is just select these by clicking them. I do not believe the tabs already come like this in this layout, and you can configure them however you want by dragging them on the top like that. And Roblox now has docking areas like this. So this is my layout, although you don't have to do this. It's just whatever layout actually is comfortable for you. Okay, now we have these. Now that you should have your tabs set up, let's create our first instance in Roblox Studio. So you want to go to the home page and see here is a button called Part. Now once you click that, it creates a part inside the workspace that is selected and goes under the workspace tab inside the Explorer. And basically you can see that the properties tab has also been completely populated with a bunch of options. And let's just mess with these options in there so we can actually test them out. So basically first we want to change the brick color, and that brick color can be really red. And let's also change the material, and this time I actually choose neon. And basically on the home page there's the play button, in which of course you can play your own game. And now we have a part that is neon and is red. Alright, so basically we also have the stop button there at the top. And now let's mess with some more tabs on the side. So you can scroll down a bit and see reflectance, which is basically just how much it reflects off the skybox. And the skybox is basically just the sky around the map, like this, all out there. So let's remove the neon for our case here. Let's go all the way back to here. Now let's increase the reflectancy of the part, and at 1 it completely reflects all light from only the skybox. And we also have transparency, which is essentially opacity. The higher the transparency, the lower opacity. And at 0 is completely opaque. Now we also have the size property, the C frame, and the origin, which you do not need to mess with any of these here. But essentially the 4, 1, and 2 is X, Y, and Z, which are coordinates on a 3D plane. And Roblox is actually called a vector 3. You can change this property by just putting it in here, like this. I can put 2, 2, 2, which would be a cube. But you can also change that using these tools up here, but we'll go over that later. So essentially, we can go down here in our properties tab and make it to where CanCollide is off. And if we play the game, the part will be completely gone because it went straight through the bat, because there's nothing you can collide with, since can collide is false. Now let's just enable that for now. Alright, so essentially we should probably mess with these tools up here again before we move on to the next property. So first we have the select tool, and if you select this part here, you can deselect it by clicking on something else, like skybox. As a skybox is not an object that's in the workspace, you can't just select it using the select tool inside the viewport. Alright, so you also can select the spawn location, which is just where the player spawns. Both these things are under the workspace. And the reason why the base plate is unable to be selected directly is because of the locked property, which is under data. You can see that's not enabled for the part here. See, now that I enable locked, you cannot directly select it unless you go into the workspace and then click on the part. So let's deselect locked. Alright, now on move, you can essentially just move it around the 3D plane inside the workspace. By holding one of these arrows and moving it in that direction, it moves that object on that axis in that direction. Scaling sizes it in the 3D plane in the direction that you're pulling it at. So this goes in X, Y, and Z, and as you can see here, the size property is also being changed. And basically to undo everything, you can do Control plus Z in order to go back if you didn't really like your changes. So you also have the rotate property, which you can see on the properties tab. Orientation is actually changing. This is actually the y-axis when you turn it with this green. The blue is the z-axis, and red is the x-axis. Alright, now that's all the tools. So for our next property, we need to bring this part into the air a little bit. And if you never enabled Can Glide, turn it back on. Now anchored essentially freezes that object in the world space. So inside the workspace, the object is frozen there. So if I click on anchored and then play the game, it's not able to be moved at all. And you can basically use it as like a stepping stone, I guess. Alright, let's stop the game now. Okay, so now the last thing we should go over is adding new instances. So as you can add the part through the same process, you can hover your mouse over a service, which is basically all these tabs here. You can see players, lighting, material service, replicate first, and etc. So inside workspace, you can hover over the service and then press the arrow. And as you can see here, frequently used, you can add a click detector or a texture, a decal, or a script. And so in this, if I added a script, by default the script has print hello world. And in order to see that, you have to go back to the view tab and check the output. Alright, so now if I play the game, you can see that it says hello world right on script 1. So on the first, so essentially that 1 meant the first line of the script, and script means just the name of the script, which gets us onto our last property. So essentially if you click on something, you can see that there's a property that says name, and we can change that name to anything. So let's say this is like the script, Alright, so now we have that. We can essentially, we can also name it again by doing this. So if you do rename and then put in whatever you need, it does the exact same thing. Now if I played the game, it will say hello world server and then U1, because the first line of the script that's called U. Alright, so now that's everything for the tutorial today. Please forgive me for the horrible upload schedule, and also if this tutorial wasn't too amazing, I hope you guys learned something from this video. I try to make it better than my original tutorials, and I'm new to editing on Premiere Pro, so bear with me there. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and you'll stay tuned for the next tutorial in the series, whenever that's coming.